The distress call. The vast emptiness of space stretched out before Captain Maya Chen as she stood on the bridge of the UNSS Thunderbolt. Starlight reflected off her dark eyes as she studied the holographic display of the Epsilon Eridani system. Her ship had been mapping the sector for 3 months, cataloging new planetary bodies and searching for signs of intelligent life. "Captain, you should see this," called Lieutenant Reza Karim from the sensor station, his voice cutting through the quiet hum of the bridge. "We're picking up unusual readings from the 4th planet." Maya moved to his station, her tall frame casting a shadow over the console. The neural implant at her temple pulsed softly as it synchronized with the ship's systems, feeding data directly into her mind. "Artificial structures," she murmured. "Underwater. Extensive." "Yes, Captain," Reza confirmed. "And there's more. We're detecting energy signatures consistent with advanced technology, but unlike anything in our database." Maya straightened, her decision immediate. "Take us into orbit, Lieutenant Santos. Standard first contact protocols." The Thunderbolt adjusted, course approaching the blue-green world that the crew had unofficially named Neptune's twin due to its similar coloration. As they established orbit, Communications Officer Ilara Wright's console lit up. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission. It's a distress call." "Put it through," Maya ordered. The bridge speakers crackled before a melodic, undulating voice emerged, translated by the ship's AI. "To any spacefaring civilization who can hear us, we are the Thalarians of Maris Prime. Our world is under attack by the Vrath Dominion. They hunt us in our sacred waters. We have no weapons to match theirs. Please, if anyone can hear this message, help us." The message repeated, the translator struggling with the aquatic inflections of the alien language. "How long has this message been broadcasting?" Maya asked. "Based on the signal degradation, approximately 2 weeks, Captain," Ilara replied. Maya's expression hardened. "Show me the planet's surface." The main view screen shifted to a high-resolution scan of the ocean world below. What initially appeared as natural wave patterns resolved into something far more disturbing. Massive disturbances in the water, energy signatures of weapons fire, and strange vessels hovering above the surface. "Those aren't Thalarian ships," Reza said, pointing to the angular predatory craft. "They match the description in the distress call, Vrath." Maya's neural implant pulsed faster as she processed the tactical situation. "Ilara, contact Earth. Command, Priority Alpha." "Captain," her first officer, Commander Jackson Ortega, stepped forward. "Protocol dictates we should maintain observation only until authorized to intervene." Maya fixed him with a steady gaze. "And while we wait for authorization, how many Thalarians die? We're the only Earth ship in this sector." Before Jackson could respond, Admiral Victor Wei's stern face appeared on the communication screen. "Captain Chen, your report better be worth interrupting the council meeting." "Sir, we've discovered an aquatic civilization in the Epsilon Eridani system. They're under attack by a hostile force known as the Vrath. We've intercepted a distress call." The Admiral's expression remained impassive. "The Vrath are known to us, Captain, a nomadic predator species that targets developing civilizations. The Council has been monitoring their activities." "Then you know they're slaughtering innocents," Maya replied, struggling to keep her voice level. "We need to intervene." "The Thunderbolt is an exploration vessel, not a warship," Wei countered, "and Earth has not established diplomatic relations with either species." "With respect, Admiral, they asked for help." "Anyone's help." Maya's voice dropped. "Are we going to be the civilization that heard a drowning world cry out and did nothing?" E.T. Heavy silence followed. Maya could almost see the political calculations running through the Admiral's mind. "The Council won't authorize a full military response without confirmation," Wei finally said. "You have permission to investigate and establish contact with the Thalarians. Assess the situation. If your findings confirm genocide, you may provide limited defensive support until reinforcements arrive." "Thank you, sir," Maya said, relief washing over her. "Don't thank me yet, Captain. The nearest battle group is 3 days out. You'll be on your own until then." The Admiral's expression softened slightly. "Be careful, Maya. The Varath don't take kindly to interference. The transmission ended, and Maya turned to her crew, determination setting her features like stone. Battle stations. We're going in. The Thunderbolt descended into the atmosphere, its stealth systems engaged to avoid immediate detection by the Vrath vessels. As they approached the vast ocean surface, Riza reported, "I've pinpointed the origin of the distress signal. It's coming from an underwater city approximately 200 kilometers north of our position, depth of 1.2 kilometers. How do we establish contact without the Vrath intercepting?" Jackson asked. Maya smiled grimly. "We've got something they don't expect, deep-sea capabilities." She turned to Lieutenant Santos. "Take us down. Submersion protocols." The Thunderbolt's external configuration shifted, metamorphosing from an aerodynamic atmospheric craft to a sleek submersible. The ship pierced the ocean surface with barely a ripple, descending into the alien sea. The underwater world revealed itself through the external cameras, a realm of bioluminescent beauty, geometric coral structures, and sprawling cities built into the contours of the ocean floor. But the evidence of attack was unmistakable. Destroyed buildings, debris floating in the currents, and strange armored figures moving through the water with predatory grace. "Vrath troops," Maya said grimly. "They've adapted to underwater combat." As they approached the coordinates of the distress signal, they encountered a massive structure, a city of crystalline towers and glowing domes, partially damaged, but still largely intact. Moving lights approached their vessel, sleek humanoid figures with iridescent scales and webbed appendages. "The Thalarians," Ilara whispered in awe. "Open communication channels," Maya ordered. "Let them know we're here to help." The response was immediate. The Thalarians guided them to a massive underwater dock designed for vessels far larger than the Thunderbolt. Once secured, Maya selected a team for first contact, including herself, Jackson, and Dr. Amara Okafor, their xenobiologist. After donning pressure suits designed for deep-sea exploration, they exited through the airlock into a chamber that the Thalarians had already drained of water. A delegation of the aquatic aliens awaited them. Tall, elegant beings with luminescent patterns rippling across their silver-blue skin. One stepped forward, the patterns on its skin shifting in complex sequences before it activated a translation device. "I am Elder Mirazal. You came." The translator conveyed both words and the emotional resonance behind them, profound relief and disbelief. We feared no one would answer. "I am Captain Maya Chen of the United Nations spaceship Thunderbolt, representing Earth. We received your distress call." "Earth," the elder repeated. "We have not heard of your world in the great community of stars." "We're relatively new to interstellar travel," Maya explained. "But we don't ignore calls for help." The elder's skin rippled with patterns that the translator interpreted as gratitude. "The Vrath came 3 lunar cycles ago. They hunt us for sport and take our resources. Their technology far exceeds ours. We are philosophers and artists, not warriors." "How many Vrath ships?" Maya asked. 7 large vessels and many smaller craft. They control our skies and have established bases on our few land masses." Maya shared a glance with Jackson. The Thunderbolt alone couldn't handle such a force. "Help is coming," she assured the elder. "Earth is sending ships, but until they arrive, we'll do what we can to protect your people." As they discussed the situation, an alarm sounded from Maya's communication device. "Captain," Ilara's voice came through. "Varath vessels have detected our entry point. They're converging on the city." Maya's decision was immediate. "Elder Mirazal, do you have shelters for your people? Places deep enough to be protected from bombardment?" "Yes, the ancient caverns below the city. Get everyone there, now." Maya turned to her team. Back to the ship. Minutes later, the Thunderbolt emerged from its dock, rising to meet the approaching Vrath vessels. 3 angular ships with organic-looking protrusions that Maya recognized as weapon systems. "They're scanning us," Reza reported. The main view screen flickered, revealing a reptilian being with ridged armor-like skin and vertical pupils and yellow eyes. Unknown vessel, the Varath commander hissed, the translator struggling with the sibilant language. You trespass in Varath hunting grounds. This world is claimed for the Dominion. Maya stood tall, facing the alien predator without flinching. This is Captain Chen of the Earth vessel Thunderbolt. The Thalarians are under the protection of Earth now. Withdraw your forces immediately. The Varath's expression shifted in what might have been amusement. Earth? We know nothing of your kind. One small vessel cannot challenge the Dominion. Leave now, or be destroyed with the water dwellers. You misunderstand, Maya replied calmly. This isn't a negotiation. It's a warning. The communication cut off, and immediately the Varath ships opened fire. Energy beams sliced through the water toward the Thunderbolt. Evasive maneuvers, Maya ordered. Return fire, defensive pattern alpha. The Thunderbolt darted through the water with surprising agility, its point defense systems intercepting most of the incoming fire. The ship's own weapons, designed primarily for clearing space debris and asteroid mining, were repurposed into improvised offensive capabilities. As the battle unfolded, Maya realized something crucial. The Varath, while technologically advanced, weren't adapted for true underwater warfare. Their energy weapons lost coherence in the dense liquid medium, while the Thunderbolt's specially designed systems maintained effectiveness. They're used to hunting prey that can't fight back, Maya realized aloud. Not opponents who evolved on a world that tried to kill them every day. Earth, classified as a death world by galactic standards, had shaped humanity into survivors. Adaptable, tenacious, and ingenious in the face of danger. The Varath were predators, yes, but humans had spent their evolutionary history being both predator and prey. For hours, the Thunderbolt engaged in hit-and-run tactics, drawing the Varath away from Thalarian population centers, using the ocean environment to their advantage. They couldn't win outright, but they could hold the line. Just as the ship's energy reserves approached critical levels, new contacts appeared on their sensors. Captain, Ilara called, her voice tight with excitement. 5 Earth vessels have just entered the system. The UNS Dreadnought Leviathan is leading them. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Open a channel. Admiral Wei's face appeared on screen, his normally stoic expression betraying a hint of approval. Captain Chen, it seems you've been busy. Just keeping the waters warm for you, Admiral. The full battle group will arrive within 12 hours. Hold position. As the first Earth reinforcements engaged the surprised Varath forces, Maya turned to look at the alien ocean world on the view screen. The Thunderbolt had suffered damage, but it had stood its ground. One ship facing an alien armada to protect a civilization they'd only just met. Because that's what humans did. When they heard a cry for help, they answered. And the Varath were about to learn what it meant to face the children of Earth. The Deathworlders who had turned their harsh evolutionary crucible into a forge for something the galaxy rarely saw. Compassion backed by deadly force. Wrath of the Deathworlders Admiral Sora Hassan stood on the bridge of the UNS Leviathan, the massive dreadnought at the center of Earth's first response fleet. Around her, 42 warships of various classes had dropped, out of FTL transit, forming a protective sphere around the ocean world of Maris Prime. The synchronized arrival of such a large force, appearing simultaneously from multiple vectors, was a tactical maneuver designed to prevent escape. A statement of intent. Status report, Hassan ordered, her voice carrying the quiet authority that had earned her the nickname the Whisper among her subordinates. All ships in position, Admiral, replied Commander Emerson. The Varath fleet consists of 1 command vessel, 6 capital ships, and 24 smaller craft. They've consolidated their forces in high orbit on the far side of the planet. Hassan nodded, her dark eyes scanning the tactical display. And the Thunderbolt? Captain Chen has docked the ship at the main Thalarian city for repairs. They've suffered damage but maintained their defensive position for over 18 hours before our advance elements arrived. A ghost of a smile touched Hassan's lips. Send my compliments to Captain Chen. Her actions have given us a diplomatic opening with the Thalarians we might not have had otherwise. The Admiral turned to the holographic representation of Maris Prime, studying the Vrath positions. Open a channel to the Vrath command vessel. The main view screen shifted to show a Vrath officer, more heavily armored than the one Captain Chen had encountered. Bony ridges protruded from its skull, and ceremonial scarification marked its scaled face, signs of high rank in their predatory hierarchy. "I am Supreme Hunter Kravash of the Vrath Dominion," the alien announced, its voice a harsh rasp even through the translator. "Your interference in our rightful hunt will not be tolerated." Admiral Hassan didn't immediately respond. Instead, she simply studied the Vrath commander, her expression neutral. The silence stretched uncomfortably before she finally spoke. "I am Admiral Sora Hassan of the United Earth Defense Force. You have attacked a peaceful species who requested our help. You will withdraw immediately or we will remove you." The Vrath commander's vertical pupils narrowed. "You have no claim to this world or its primitive inhabitants. The strong hunt the weak. This is the natural order. Then I suggest you prepare your defenses," Hassan replied calmly, "because you're about to become the prey." The communication terminated, and Hassan turned to her officers. "Deploy the Triton units to the primary Thalarian cities. Priority is civilian protection. Captain Chen will coordinate with their elders." Commander Emerson hesitated. "Admiral, the Vrath are moving their fleet into attack formation." As expected, Hassan's voice remained level. "All ships, combat protocols authorized, weapons free." The Earth Fleet's response was immediate and coordinated. Ships moved with practiced precision, forming battle groups that targeted specific Vrath vessels. The smaller, more agile human craft darted between the larger alien ships, exploiting gaps in their formation. Meanwhile, beneath the waves, specialized marine units deployed from Earth's ships. The Triton squads, soldiers genetically enhanced for underwater operations and equipped with advanced aquatic combat suits, descended into the depths to establish defensive perimeters around Thalarian population centers. On the Leviathans, Bridge Admiral Hassan watched the tactical display as the battle unfolded in 3 dimensions: space, air, and sea. "The Vrath are attempting to land reinforcements near the southern city cluster," reported the tactical officer. "Intercept with Barracuda Squadron," Hassan ordered, "and bring the Leviathan into low orbit over that position." The massive dreadnought descended through the atmosphere, its weapon systems reconfiguring for optimal atmospheric performance. As it took position above the Southern Ocean, its presence alone was enough to make several Vrath landing craft alter course. Deep beneath the waves, Lieutenant Commander Aisha Kaur led her Triton squad through the crystalline corridors of the Thalarian capital city. Thalarian civilians watched in amazement as the humans moved through water with practiced ease, their powered exosuits compensating for the immense pressure of the deep. "They're coming," warned Sergeant Rodriguez, monitoring the squad's advanced sonar system. "Vrath assault team, approaching from Sector 3. Kaur signaled her team to take defensive positions around a school building where hundreds of young Thalarians had taken shelter. "Remember your training," she told her squad. "The Vrath evolved as surface predators. They're strong but not adapted for sustained underwater combat." The first wave of Vrath soldiers appeared, reptilian figures in sealed armor, moving with powerful strokes through the water. They carried energy weapons designed to work in liquid environments, but their movements betrayed their discomfort in the deep. Kaur waited until they entered the killing zone before giving the signal. Now. The Triton squad's specialized underwater weapons unleashed a barrage that tore through the Vrath formation. Sonic disruptors targeted the weak points in the aliens' pressure armor, while magnetically accelerated projectiles maintained lethal velocity even through water. The Vrath, unused to resistance, attempted to regroup, but the humans moved like sharks through the water, attacking from multiple angles, disappearing into the gloom, then striking again from unexpected directions. "They're retreating," Rodriguez reported. After the brief but intense firefight, Kaur nodded. "They're not used to hunting things that hunt back." One of the Thalarian elders approached, the patterns of light across their skin expressing what the translator interpreted as astonishment. "Your people move in water as if born to it," the elder said. Yet we were told humans evolved on land. We did, Core confirmed. But our world is 70% ocean. Many of us learn to swim before we can walk, and our planet's seas contain predators that would make the Vrath look like herbivores. In orbit, the space battle had turned decisively in Earth's favor. The Vrath's numerical advantage had been negated by superior human tactics and technology, specifically designed to counter their weapon systems. On the bridge of the Vrath command ship, Supreme Hunter Cravash watched in growing dismay as his fleet was systematically dismantled. 3 of his capital ships had been disabled, and the smaller craft were being hunted down by human interceptors that moved with impossible agility. How? He demanded of his tactical officer. How can they anticipate our every move? Unknown, Supreme Hunter, the officer replied nervously. Their technology is not significantly advanced beyond ours, but their tactical patterns are unpredictable. Cravash slammed a clawed hand against his command console. They are prey species. They should flee before superior predators. The tactical display updated with new information, and the Vrath officer's scales paled. Supreme Hunter, the human flagship is moving to intercept us directly. The massive form of the Leviathan appeared on their view screen, its weapon ports glowing with barely contained energy, as it approached the Vrath command vessel. Admiral Hassan's voice came through their communication system. Your fleet is defeated. Your ground forces are in retreat. Surrender now or be destroyed, Cravash hissed in defiance. The Vrath do not surrender to prey. Then perhaps it's time you learned something about Earth's history, Hassan replied, her voice still eerily calm. On our world, the line between predator and prey has always been fluid. The Leviathan opened fire, its main batteries targeting the Vrath command ship's propulsion and weapon systems with surgical precision. The barrage was overwhelming, designed not to destroy, but to disable, a demonstration of both power and restraint. As system after system failed, Cravash finally gave the order his species had never before uttered in combat. Stand down. All forces, stand down. The surrender of the Vrath command ship cascaded through their forces. Within hours, the invasion had collapsed entirely, with isolated pockets of resistance being quickly neutralized by human marines. 3 days later, Admiral Hassan and Captain Chen stood in the Grand Council chamber of the Thalarian capital city, which had been partially drained of water to accommodate the human visitors. Elder Mirasal and the full council of Thalarian leaders faced them, their skin rippling with patterns of gratitude and wonder. The debt we owe your people cannot be measured, Elder Mirasal said, the translator conveying the depth of emotion behind the words. You came when no one else would. You fought for those you had never met. Admiral Hassan bowed slightly. Earth will always answer calls for help. It is not strength that defines a civilization, but how that strength is used. We have much to learn from humans, another elder said. Our histories speak of species who evolved on harsh worlds becoming conquerors, using their strength to dominate. Yet you use yours to protect. Maya Chen stepped forward. Perhaps because on Earth nothing survives alone, cooperation has always been as important to our survival as strength or intelligence. The Vrath will return to their territory under escort, Hassan explained. Earth is proposing a Galactic Protection Accord, a mutual defense agreement between peaceful species. The Thalarians would be welcome as founding members. The elder's skin pulsed with patterns of agreement and hope. We would be honored to join such an alliance. Later, as they returned to the Leviathan, Maya turned to Admiral Hassan. Do you think the Vrath learned their lesson? About humans, I mean. Hassan's expression was thoughtful. They learned we're dangerous, but I hope they also learned something more important, that being a Deathworlder doesn't have to make you a destroyer. Just a very effective guardian, Maya added with a smile. As the Earth fleet prepared to depart, leaving a permanent defense station in orbit around Maris Prime, news of humanity's actions was already spreading through interstellar communications channels. The footage of human ships and soldiers defending an alien civilization they'd only just met was being viewed across dozens of worlds. The message was clear. In a galaxy where the strong often preyed upon the weak, a new force had emerged. Deathworlders, who used their hard-won strength not to conquer but to protect. And throughout the stars, both predators and prey took notice.